Summer is just a season. Don't overthink it. No. Pain, this is good. A great motivator for me to lose weight because this kind of pain will definitely put me off cake. It's getting warm out there, kids, and hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it's only going to get hotter. Hello and welcome back to my channel if you haven't been here before. Hi, my name's Lena. I make videos about being alive, the awkward parts of it, the hard parts of it, particularly about being in your 20s, but today I'm going to talk about being chubby during the very specific season of summer. If you would like to stick around, consider subscribing, hit that bell. I promise it doesn't sound like that. It's not like one of those 80s doorbells. Because I've been looking at the maths of the channel and it would seem that so many of you keep coming but not subscribing. Where's the commitment? This fickle millennial generation, they can't stick to anything. Anyway, for those of you who are subscribed and who have been around for a long time, you might remember I made a video about being chubby. I'm a UK size 14 to 16, I have been an 18 to 20, and I have been a 10 to 12. Due in part to just living life, that's normal human bodies, and also due to PCOS, the bane of my life. I don't claim to be fat in the political and social sense, since people like me still have the privilege of being able to buy in high street shops and move through the world as somebody who is a term that I've learned since making that chubby video, thin passing. And over the years, I've realised that my thinner, slimmer friends just don't have to deal with the mental gymnastics and physical discomfort of summer in the same way that I do. This is not an exhaustive list, but I'm hoping I can give you some tips or at least some jumping off points to discuss in the comments. All I can do is do my humble best about what it is like to be a little bit chubby in summer. Number one, remind yourself that you have not missed a deadline. Summer was not your deadline to be optimised by, visually or otherwise. I find that these two spots in the calendar, particularly for women, I think, where you're supposed to have perfected yourselves by these stages. So they're arbitrary moments in which we should be able to shuffle our lives around, be ready to reflect on what has come before, and enter pure into the next stage. One is New Year. That never happens. I'm always a mess at New Year. And the other one is summer. Beach body ready. We've all heard all the rhetoric, we've all read the feminist essays against it, but I still think there is something that you can inspect in yourself and just check in and be like, are you sad because you think you've missed a deadline? Summer is just a season. Don't overthink it. It's usually intended to be a holiday, so setting yourself homework for a holiday seems a bit off. And generally this idea of optimising yourself in general, making sure you get the most out of your looks, out of your time, out of your food, constantly reprogramming is inherently part of the capitalist system, especially when it comes to self-improvement. I was reading this really cool book called Trick Mirror, and it's got an amazing chapter all about this idea of the way we're taught to self-police and constantly reorganise our brains and ourselves. And it's just not on. It's there to try and make other people more money. And if there's anything I hate, it's making other people money I could be spending on gin. If you are looking to change your body shape or your body size for any truly self-guided reason, that is your choice. Go for it. I support you. That sounds great. But doing it to seasons, no. The second one is Big Bridget pants. I specifically get my Big Bridget pants from the Big Bloomer company. As far as I can tell, they're pretty ethical. I think they're made in Europe. These are the type that I buy, but I can't tell you how many years I went without these, and I have literally no clue why. It was only when I started talking and making friends of similar sizes to me that they were like, do you not have a pair of these? And I was like, what are you talking about? Looks down at incredibly bruised inner thighs, sometimes bleeding, thinking, oh God, was there an email? Did I miss the memo? What's going on? One of the big regrets I have about my late teens, early 20s is that I didn't take my own pain seriously. When you are chubbier and your thighs touch, if you start walking places in the heat, it can be incredibly, incredibly painful. Sometimes I thought, maybe everybody's feeling like this. Sometimes I thought, you deserve it, you massive turd, for eating too much cake. And sometimes I thought, pain, this is good. A great motivator for me to lose weight because this kind of pain will definitely put me off cake. we don't think like that anymore. I have seen that one of my favourite independent brands, Snag Tights, who are definitely ethical, have brought out similar pairs like this in fun colours, which I haven't tried because obviously I've got the big bloomers. I really like this design though, because it means they're specifically designed not to roll up and not to roll down, and I can speak for the big bloomers ones, they don't budge all day, they're amazing, and they also don't try and suck you in, but they do support you. But if both of those are out of your price range, ain't nothing wrong with some old leggings cut off above the knee. I would say this is almost a medicinal need. Take your pain seriously. This is what your body needs. Please give it something between your thighs so you don't bruise and bleed. We're not about that life. This is a hot girl summer, not a bloody girl summer, please. Number 3, get your arms out. Not even for body acceptance reasons, but because half of the stresses that I have in the heat of summer is the fact that to the left of me, a massive gaggle of blokes are all taking their tops off so that they are the perfect temperature, and I'm sitting here suffering because I don't think I can show my arms in public. You deserve to be as close to a comfortable temperature as possible, and really under here is designed, the human body is designed to cool you down and tell you that you need to take stuff off when it's sweating too much. It's trying to tell you something. Listen, this isn't really a tip, but I actually feel way more comfortable getting my arms out now that I have tattoos. They just excite me. Like, I want to show them to people. But if you're nervous about having something clinging to you here, take a look at some ruffle tops that ruffle around here. They give you a little bit of privacy in that point that can often pinch and help you transition if you're not used to getting your arms out. But absolutely no clingy sleeves. Fuck that cottagecore shit if it doesn't serve you. Nothing that's not elastic and up here. But I also wanted to add a 3B to this point, because it's totally okay to not show your arms if you are not ready to, or you just don't friggin' want to. In the more recent stages of feminism, I almost think there's this level of performative feminism where you feel like you have to get your body out to show that you are the best feminist and so comfortable with yourself. And that is also an added bit of peer pressure. It is okay if you do want to cover up your arms and you don't want to get them out. Please just make sure that you have breathable fabrics so you are not suffering, but it doesn't make you any less of a feminist or somebody who is in support of bodies in general. Bodies existing. I'm a fan. Number 4, do not stop moving because it is summer. I'm often caught in the great dilemma, which is I don't want to jog in the winter because it's mostly dark and I feel unsafe. And then there's a point at which I don't want to jog in the summer either because I feel self-conscious and too hot and too sweaty, and it makes me think about my body when I'm already thinking about my body so often in summer that I just don't want to. An error. I find that moving, let's not call it exercise, let's not call it sport, helps me get out of my flesh prison. That's it. It actually helps me stop obsessing about my body and reminds me that my body has loads of different functions, one of them being moving. And it doesn't have to be anything boring. Roller skating, swimming, skipping. I personally get all of my best ideas while jogging. I got the idea for this video while jogging. I dread to think how many ideas I missed out on and all the years that I wasn't exercising during summer. Devastating. That's a true fact. Exercise speeds up the birth of new cells in the part of your brain that creates stuff and thinks of things. I'll leave the links below because clearly by my terminology I'm not a scientist. But according to the articles that I'm leaving below, exercise has a serious impact on your ability to imagine the future. Get the shoes on, go on, get out there, quick! Now, once you have all that creativity, what are you gonna do with it? Well, I have an idea. Maybe you want to try our wonderful ethereal overlords and sponsors of this video, Skillshare. Hello, it is Interval Ad Read Lena here to give you some ideas of how to spend that newly found, newly bloomed creativity now that you've got out there. Skillshare have hundreds of thousands of classes on hand lettering, illustration, drawing, poetry, cooking, graphic design. But the one that's been helping me this month is Carly Cayune's Start Drawing. Now I've been getting a little micromanaging, a little up my own butt, a little tense around making the stuff I make perfect. And her class is the perfect antidote to that, to be honest. She talks about how art is a loaded word and we need to expand our idea of what an artist even is. The class takes you through 3 exercises that get you challenging your perfectionism and drawing some really cool abstract faces. Now, for mine, I used these incredible pictures of Polystyrene, who is a punk musician I've been learning a lot more about and that British history really shouldn't forget. There's a really good documentary on it here. Anyway, don't think I really did her genius justice with these pictures, abstract as they are, but the class really got me out of my own head and back to actually making the thing and enjoying making the thing too, which is surely the most important part. Most classes are under an hour total and they come in tiny little bite-sized chunks so you can fit them around any attention span or schedule, and it's less than $10 a month for an annual subscription. So once you've finished your free trial and you decide to stick about, it's not going to break the bank. There's literally millions of people on there, so whenever you log on there's always other people learning, which is quite nice. And as always on this channel, we stand a purchase that lasts a lifetime, doesn't come wrapped in plastic and doesn't need to be shipped to you. Skillshare are some of my favourite people to work with, not only because they treat me, the worker, really nicely, but they also give me something free to give to you. So if you hop down into the description, you're going to see a link to get a free trial of Skillshare Premium, and there's only 1,000 people that get that. So if you want to be in that number when the Saints come marching in, I would get there fast because there's only 1,000 of them. Sounds like a lot, but they do go. And if you're looking for a way to gently learn something new and give your brain something to do rather than stare at your own thighs for the whole of the season, do not snooze and lose, because when they're gone, they're gone. Now, where were we? Number 5. While you are exercising, if you are chubby, another memo I missed, compression leggings. Now I know what you're thinking. When I heard about compression leggings, I thought they were for aesthetic purposes, a version of Skims or Spanx, something to make you look aesthetically better while exercising, and I was like, you can keep it. Oh my god, that's not what it is. Compression leggings are like a bra for your belly. Now when I exercise, my belly moves independently of me. Like if you exercise without a bra, I'm not saying it looks bad, but it doesn't feel great. Personally, when I'm jogging, it stresses me out, it distracts me from stuff that I haven't quite worked through in my head, and it's a sad time all round. Getting something like this that actually supports you while moving at a fast pace has changed my attitude to running completely. I didn't realise this was a thing, and again, because of shame, we don't really talk about how your belly might need support like your boobs need support. I have some girlfriend collective leggings. They score pretty highly on Good On You, but if you don't want those, I was also thinking maybe if you have some old oppressive Spanx in your drawer that you no longer use, they could have a second life as your gym kit. Probably doesn't work for everybody, but genuinely give it a go. Number 6, find the right pair of shorts. Now, don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but never have I ever found a pair of denim shorts that don't ride up into your nunny. Then we get the bruising, the chafing, the bleeding. It's not a good situation. I'm personally done with them as a category and therefore have moved into stuff like culottes. Remember culottes? I used to wear them as a brownie. Incredible. If this is the permission you need to stop looking for the perfect pair of denim shorts, here's your hall pass. You can go. I'm talking cotton, I'm talking linen, I'm talking wide leg, I'm talking high waist. Even if you want to wear something a bit fancier or clingier or more structured, there will be days when you need these shorts. Make sure you have a pair. Short culottes is a great term to type into a thrift app like Depop or something. Number 7, trousers. Make sure you got the right trousers. Trousers that are appropriate in winter might not work for you in summer. You're way more likely to be outside in parks or on beaches, sitting down on the floor or in weird positions. I imagine this can be uncomfortable for slim people, but for chubby people or anyone not that trim, an unforgiving waistband can be a living hell. When you're shopping for clothes that you intend to wear in summer, steer clear of those strict immovable waistbands. They need at least a bit of elastic at the back, if not elastic the whole way around. And I try them on in the shop like you're taught to try on shoes in the shoe shop as a kid. You walk up and down in them, you sit in them, you crouch in them, you do a high kick in them. Feel free to test drive them so you make sure you feel comfortable and not harassed by your own clothing before you buy. If you want wide leg trousers, a term that I just learned is palazzo pants. These are the pair that I got from Kemi Telford. They're really, really comfy and they're great, but there are absolutely tons on secondhand apps as well. Or these aren't palazzo pants, but there is a really good cut from Lucy and Yak, who are fair trade, called Kia, that I can vouch for, are super comfy. But what I would say about those is they actually don't wear in the crotch very well. I've lost several pairs to my powerful crotch, and they also fade in the wash quite easily. So either get them secondhand or buy them and then wear them till they literally die and then recycle them into other things afterwards. Number 8, going out. If you are going out as a chubby person, I cannot speak more highly of jumpsuits. We're protecting the crotch area. Booze, not bruise. They can look just as fancy as short dresses if you're looking for a formal look, or you've seen my Peter Pan play suit before as well. Anything that's a jumpsuit or a play suit for going out is just going to be so much more comfortable for you, and you're going to be able to enjoy yourself so much more, rather than trying to keep up with these weird people who like wearing dresses. Or if you are going to wear a dress, at least wear them shorts underneath. Please, do yourself a favour. You should be out there on a night out, losing your shoes, losing your wallet. You should not be losing a layer of skin between your thighs. Number 9, get the right shoes. Chances are, if you are chubby, you also have wider feet than the average person. I would know. My feet are size 5 lengthways and size 7 breadthways. They just never had a chance, did they? So I have genuinely given up the ghost on finding sandals wide enough for me. You can go out and look for sandals that are specifically made for wide feet. I personally have given up the ghost on that one. Haven't got the time. I happily invest in flip-flops and open-sided stuff. Or the 2 brands that I found that are wide enough for my feet are Doc Martens, yeah, they do make sandals, or Birkenstocks, although those don't last that long. Very annoyed with those. I have a bone to pick with Birkenstock customer service. Number 10. No, this is not a list of me just reminding you to get clothes that fit, but seriously, in summer, this is when it can get real ugly, not visually, emotionally. This is your personal reminder to buy a bra that fits. In winter, you can work with it, it's not too bad. In summer, unfucking bearable. My back size is like 40 or 42 and barely anybody makes that for some reason. But top tip, get a bra without underwiring and then size up the cup size until the back is wide enough. So if you're thinking, I need a 40E, but it's not there, crank down the back size, crank up the cup size. So they don't have a 40E, but do they have a 38F? Maths. Do they have a 36G? Do you see what I mean? It does work and it will make them fit you. Promise. Number 11, make sure you have a little comfort kit wherever you go. This is what is going in your hot chubby summer kit, okay? Get a pen. 1 bottle of Lancane anti-chafing gel. Some people say talcum powder works. I think that's a myth. Some people say deodorant works. I have not found that to be the case. This is something that's specifically made for the chafe. It doesn't last forever, it's not ideal, but it is better than those options. I have sometimes wondered if, like, lube works, like sexual lube. But I haven't tried it myself, but somebody tell me in the comments if you have. 1 pair of very low denier tights. This is if it gets a little bit cooler and you're able to put on tights under whatever you're wearing to make yourself feel more comfortable and not chafe. I always just keep a pair in my bag because sometimes it's more comfortable to put tights on than deal with an unexpected situation, especially if you're like in that between spring and summer season and then it will just get like a flash of a heat wave and you weren't expecting. Have those tights there in case you don't have your shorts on. It'll save your life, trust me. 1 big, I mean oversized, flowy cotton button-up shirt. I always have one just in case something starts to rub on my arms or anywhere else on my body. I usually find like having a shirt can solve that. Or if I'm just feeling self-conscious in something that I thought I felt really confident in at the beginning of the day, but now it's kind of ruining my day, it's good to have that as a backup just in case you weren't ready and you're like, actually, I just want to have some privacy right now. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to have that step, but for me, it really helps just to have that option. Also, you just overheat to a tremendous amount sometimes. So I often find it really useful to have that on because I can throw it on and then take my bra off, take my top off and everything else underneath. And I can just live my best sheet monster life and not have to worry. And then finally, last resort, keep some safety pins in your bag because if you are caught out and it's hotter than you thought it was and you do start to chafe down there, you can make it work for a short period of time by safety pinning a skirt or a dress to itself between your legs. It doesn't look the coolest, But sometimes you get to that point where you're like, I actually don't care how this looks. I'm in so much pain. And then number 12, remember that you have been allocated a summer. Please go and enjoy it. Just like time, everyone gets about the same amount. Doesn't matter what you look like. You have been given this summer. Please bank it. It expires. Trust me. Being outdoors, vitamin D is a free mental health tool. Exercise is also a bargain. And you abso-friggin-lutely 100% deserve both. There's a bargain out there. Go and grab that bargain. Hasn't capitalism trained you? There's a bargain going on next door. Thank you so much for watching this video. Remember, if you haven't been here before and you'd like to be here again, I would love it if you would subscribe and stick around so we can chat, have a little chit chat again. Don't forget to hit that Skillshare link if you would like another free thing. The free things just keep on coming. Here are some other videos my intuition thinks you might want to watch next. And until next time, Frog's Dog out.